Success is not an event, it's a process. In a world where instant gratification is often glorified, it's easy to fall into the trap of believing that success is something that happens overnight, a breakthrough moment that catapults us from obscurity to fame, from struggle to triumph. But the truth is much deeper and far more enduring than that. Success is not about waiting for one defining moment, one flash of brilliance, or one grand opportunity that transforms everything in an instant. Success is about consistency. It's about the quiet, often unnoticed, steady work you put in day after day, hour after hour. It's in the small actions, the things you do when no one is watching, that the real foundation for success is laid. We often overlook the power of these small, seemingly insignificant actions. We've been conditioned to believe that success is flashy, loud, and fast. We want results now and we want them big. But life doesn't work like that. Real, lasting success is built slowly. It's built on a series of small, consistent steps. Think of it like planting a tree. In the beginning, all you have is a small seed buried beneath the soil, unseen by the world. It takes time for that seed to sprout, for roots to grow, for the tree to emerge from the ground. There are moments when it seems like nothing is happening, when progress feels invisible. But as long as you continue to nurture the seed, to water it, to care for it, eventually it will grow into something magnificent. If you abandon it in the early stages, however, or if you neglect it because you're not seeing immediate results, you'll never experience the true fruits of your labor. In life, the same principle applies. Small efforts, when compounded over time, lead to extraordinary results. You might not see immediate rewards, but that doesn't mean your efforts are wasted. Every time you show up, you're building something. Every small step, no matter how seemingly insignificant, is a part of the bigger picture. Success doesn't come to those who are looking for instant results, but to those who are willing to do the work without needing to see the rewards right away. This is where most people falter. They become disheartened because they expect to see immediate changes. But real success doesn't work that way. It's about doing the right thing consistently, even when the immediate payoff isn't visible. Consider the work of an athlete. The training, the sweat, the sacrifices, they all seem to go unnoticed until the moment of competition arrives. But that moment is just the culmination of years of relentless, consistent effort. No one sees the early mornings, the long hours spent pushing the body beyond its limits, the countless hours spent honing the craft. No one sees the struggle, the failure, the doubt, but it's in those moments when the athlete continues despite the fatigue, despite the pain, that the athlete becomes who they are. It's not the one-off victory that defines them, but the countless hours of training, the discipline, and the willingness to show up even when no one is watching. You see, the key to greatness is not about talent. It's not about the moments of brilliance that we all love to celebrate. The key to greatness lies in persistence, in the willingness to keep going when things get hard. It's in the quiet, consistent actions that add up over time. And this is what many people miss, the power of showing up. It sounds simple, almost too simple, but it's the essence of success. The difference between those who achieve greatness and those who don't is often not talent or intelligence, but the ability to keep going when things get tough. It's the decision to keep showing up even when the results don't match the effort you're putting in. The truth is, no one can predict when success will come. You can't wait for the perfect moment, the perfect opportunity, or the perfect set of circumstances. If you do, you'll spend your whole life waiting. Success is built by doing the work consistently, even when it feels like nothing is happening. It's in those moments when you feel frustrated, when you feel like giving up, that your character is shaped. These moments are the test. Will you continue or will you walk away? One of the most powerful aspects of consistency is its ability to build momentum. When you keep showing up, when you keep putting in the effort, even on the days when it feels pointless, you start to gain momentum. Momentum is a force of nature. It starts slow, but over time it grows, it builds, and before you know it, you find yourself moving faster and more effortlessly toward your goals. Success, then, is not a singular event, but a culmination of many small efforts, each one adding to the momentum that propels you forward. But here's the challenge. Showing up is not always easy. It requires discipline, patience, and a certain level of emotional resilience. You have to be able to push through the discomfort, to keep going when you don't feel like it. The key is not to rely on motivation, but to build habits of consistency that don't require motivation to work. Motivation comes and goes. Some days you'll feel driven, others you won't. But consistency is different. It's a choice you make, regardless of how you feel. It's about understanding that the work you put in today is laying the foundation for something much bigger down the road. You don't need to see the results right away. You just need to trust that your efforts will compound over time. This is the power of consistency. It's the quiet force that builds success, not in grand gestures, but in small, deliberate actions repeated over time. It's the person who wakes up every day, puts in the work, and doesn't stop, no matter how small the progress seems. It's the person who understands that true success is not a destination, but a journey, and that journey is built on the steady, consistent steps you take along the way. So if you're feeling discouraged, if you're wondering when the results of your hard work will show up, remember this: success isn't an event, it's a process. It's the small, consistent actions you take every single day that will get you where you want to go. Trust in the process, keep showing up, and one day when you look back, you'll realize that all the small steps you've taken have led you to something extraordinary. Let's talk to Dave. Dave, consistency is not merely about doing things over and over. It's about doing them with the same passion, dedication, and effort, regardless of how you feel in the moment. It's about showing up for your goals, even when you'd rather not. In this world, it's easy to think that success comes from moments of inspiration or brilliance, but the truth is, it comes from something far more humble, far more powerful: consistency. When you commit to something, truly commit, you create a life where every day you're moving towards the person you're meant to become. And that right there is what separates those who succeed from those who merely wish to succeed. Success is built through the small, disciplined actions that are repeated day after day, even when motivation is nowhere to be found. Every day we face countless opportunities to show up. It doesn't matter whether you're tired, whether you're uninspired, or whether you feel like giving up. What matters is the ability to push past those feelings, to act in spite of them. You might think it's the big decisions, the bold moves, the moments of intense inspiration that lead to success, but in reality, it's the moments where you continue, even when the fire has gone out, that truly shape your future. It's not what we do once in a while that shapes our lives, but what we do consistently. These words ring true because what you repeatedly do becomes a part of you. Consistency isn't about a one-time victory. It's about the character you build over time by showing up again and again in spite of the odds. We live in a culture that prizes immediacy and instant gratification. The world is full of people waiting for something to change in a flash, for some moment that will turn everything around. But here's the reality: life doesn't work like that. The results you see today are not the results of one big move, one bold statement, or one flash of brilliance. They are the result of countless moments, Countless actions taken over time, consistently. Think about it. You don't wake up one morning and suddenly find yourself in the best shape of your life. You don't step onto the stage of success without years of unseen work. You don't become someone who inspires others without first being consistent in the quiet moments when no one is watching. It's those daily habits, those repeated choices that create the person you become. It's in those moments of resistance when you decide to keep going even though the results are invisible that you develop the strength and character needed to succeed. The true power of consistency lies in the unspoken truth that it doesn't require motivation. Motivation is fleeting, like a spark that ignites a fire only to burn out. Some days you'll feel inspired, others you won't. But consistency doesn't rely on that momentary spark of enthusiasm. It's the work done when motivation isn't there, when the passion is low, when you'd rather be anywhere else. It's the act of showing up regardless of how you feel. Success is the sum of small efforts repeated day in and day out. That's the essence of consistency. Success is not a lightning bolt that strikes out of nowhere. It's a slow, steady build, a process that takes time, discipline, and patience. Each small effort you make is another brick in the wall of success. Every time you make the choice to push forward, you're not just inching closer to your goal. You're becoming the person who can handle that goal. When you continue to show up, even when you're exhausted, even when no one notices, you're shaping your future in ways that are immeasurable. And though you may not see immediate results, you can trust that every single action you take is a step towards a bigger, better version of yourself. Consistency is also about developing the habits that will serve you in the long term. You might not see it today, but those small habits, whether it's showing up to work on time, exercising for 20 minutes, or reading a chapter of a book every night, are what build the foundation for lasting success. The small decisions you make every day accumulate to shape your future. When you're consistent, you're essentially choosing your future self. You're deciding who you want to be in the long run and taking steps toward that, one small action at a time. This is how greatness is achieved, not through the extraordinary, but through the ordinary, the consistent actions that most people overlook. The secret is in showing up and doing the work even when the results aren't immediately clear. It's not easy. Life will challenge you. You'll face setbacks, distractions, and moments where giving up feels like the easier option. You'll feel exhausted, frustrated, and discouraged. But in those moments, it's vital to remember the power of consistency. Those who achieve great things are not those who give up when it gets tough, but those who keep showing up no matter how many times they fall. They understand that success is not an event, but a journey. And that journey is paved with countless acts of consistent effort. It's the willingness to keep going, even when the road gets tough, that defines the winners. Consistency builds momentum. It's in the repeated action that the progress starts to show. At first, it may seem like nothing is happening. You may feel like you're stuck in place, like nothing is changing. But that's when you need to trust the process. That's when you need to keep going. Momentum doesn't happen overnight. It starts small, but with each step you take, it gains strength. And one day you'll look back and realize that all of those small actions have led you to a place you never thought possible. The magic of consistency is that it compounds. The effort you put in today is not just for today, it's building something that will last. In the end, the key to success is not waiting for the perfect moment or the perfect set of circumstances. It's about creating those moments through consistent, persistent effort. It's about making the decision to show up, to do the work, and to trust that over time, those small actions will lead you to where you want to go. Success is built on consistency, and consistency is built on the decision to keep going no matter what. So, when things get tough, when motivation fades, remember this, it's not the big moments that make you successful, it's the consistent, everyday actions that, over time, create a life of success and fulfillment. Show up, do the work, and let consistency be your guide.